Hello, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. I always lean into the mic every time. So I don't know why I do it, but I do. You guys can hear me just fine back here. But how's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully you're having a great Saturday. Doesn't feel like Saturday to me. Feels like Sunday. I told you my days would be off. It feels like a Sunday to me for some reason. But if you're new to the channel, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. I don't prefer one over the other. But if you're a returning Titan, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another upload or another live, I guess we could say, because it's not really an upload. But I'm going to edit my, because this is bothering me. Yeah, that color right there, that was bothering me. We can even go black. It was bothering me being that orange. So let's see who's in the chat tonight. Let's see. Who do we have here tonight? And I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. If I didn't see you, if I haven't seen you since then, hopefully you had a great, Black Friday shopping as well. We're going and sliding into Cyber Monday. Hopefully you guys are getting some really good deals for some stuff. So, and Ladybug, I sent you an email. So check your email. I sent the invoice for the necklace. I got it all set up for you. I have that on my notes. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Stephanie. How you doing? I saw Stephanie earlier today. So welcome back again. Or not welcome back here, but welcome back to my life. Hey, Ashley. Leaving the laundromat. Oh, man, I got to go to the laundromat. I bought one blanket, right? That's like a king size. We have a queen. I don't know why I did that. And now I have to take it to the laundromat because it's so big. And so I'll be going back there. It's winter time. I pulled it out for the winter. We did this last winter. I think Christmas Eve we were at the laundromat. We did a live. I think it was Christmas Eve. And I think even like, it might have even been like New Year's Eve or something. I must not have a life. Are you serious? Hey, Mary Beth. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Lenora. Hey, Dark Willow. It's good to see everybody. Sometimes if I go too quick, I miss people and I feel bad. Oh, it's okay, Dark Willow. Snow? Well, they were talking about, I don't know where you're from, but they said snow in exactly where you're from. But I know that Snow said they're going to have a lot of snow up in New York. Are we going to get it in Ohio? I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm cool. I haven't seen any snow here. Yeah. I'm cool with the snow. I said last night I liked it. It's pretty. Changed my mind actually. Changed my mind. Because I have dogs. Actually, I don't mind it if it's snow, like white snow. It's thick, and they can stand on top of it. It's kind of like, packed. That's not too bad because then it's easy to wipe paws. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. Well, welcome on in, Mr. Rosebud. I thought about doing live call-ins on my channel. I mean, it wouldn't be hard. You just set up like a Google number. I mean, I have a Google number. I've only given it to one person before. So, and that's Steven. I think he's the only person that I've ever used Google for. I don't know why I just didn't give him my number. Hey, Dreamcatcher. Cat's Life. Maybe I was trying to be better at doing Google Voice or something. Oh, do you not have sound? Oh, yeah, just you, I think. Hey, is it Wise Mom? Wise Mom? Why? I don't know. I don't know that one. But WYS Mom, hello. How are you? It's good to see. Okay, it's good to see everybody. Hey, Chatty, I'm gonna get to the bottom. I'm like 8 minutes in. Everyone's probably like, man, I wish we could fast forward her. Hey, I have, I have vision in one eye, and I'm gonna play the card. I'm playing that card. Hey, Akira. It really does, 'cause it's kind of like, when you see, like you'll see, like, black and then blue and then, like, green or, like, the different colors, 'cause, members, non-members, and then mods or Nightbot, he'll fly in here. And I think that's what gets me, and so I'm, like, double checking. So if I don't say hi to you, it's just because I seriously missed you. Hey, serious. So we're gonna find out a motive tonight. If you don't know the motive, that it's child custody. But we're gonna find out a whole lot about it. Hey, Stella B. I was trying to look for a lot of more information on it. I got some though. I got some information. Party of One, I love that name. I love that. I love that name. I love that. That's really good. Hey, Chai, welcome in. Okay, I'm gonna get down here. Hey, Mandy. Thanks, Dreamcatcher. I appreciate that. It's this shirt. If Aries comes in, it almost says his name, but there's a P there. So we have to take the P out somehow so that the shirt will say Aries. It'll say Ski Club, Aries Ski Club. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. Let me know though. Yeah, I would love to meet you. That would be awesome. Now that would be awesome. I'm so sorry about your aunt. Were you guys close? Mary Beth, thank you. That's so sweet. Oh, there's Aries right there. There's Aries. I knew you'd be in here before, too long. Thanks, Dark Willow. No one better be messing with me. 'Cause I'm over it. No, hey, DM. I don't think anyone is. Well, some people do, you know. But someone told me today in like a chat, we were talking about stuff and they were like, that's why your channel's growing. And so I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Hey, Lucia. That cat is beautiful. That cat is really pretty. Don't RIP Ohio State in here though, Aries, or you'll get timed out. Just kidding. I wouldn't. Don't time Aries out. That would be funny if I timed you out though. He's fine. He's hanging with the cat. I'm surprised he doesn't take the losses more seriously. I think I'm more hardcore when it comes to an Eagles loss than he is a Ohio loss. I'm in Ohio, Mr. Rosebud. Yep. And I haven't had my red on today. Hey, Doodlebug. No pea drinker is in here, I don't think. I saw that though last night and I was like, oh my gosh. When I saw Ladybug just like, timed him out. And you guys should be able to block people. I need to look into that. I forgot to look into that because I know other mods and other chats, they block people and they're regular mods. So I don't know if I should demod and then mod you guys back, if that would matter. Well, Gone Girl's making her entrance with gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. No Eagles loss, not that I know of. I'm just saying when they do lose, I take it really personally. Hey, Michelle. And thank you so much. Like if someone would have to block someone, we never have to block people here. But there was just someone it was like a gross name about like drinking my urine or something. And it was like, it's so weird. Oh, we figured it out last night. We figured it out because of the phone and the iPad, because I was trying to do it on my iPad and I couldn't either. Okay. I forgot we figured that out last night. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. So like, yeah. So if you guys can't block, like if you're on your phone or your iPad or whatever, just, we'll think of a thing that like throw me some bombs or something and I'll grab the person and I'll block them from the computer. I forgot you guys were on your tablet and your phone, and that's perfectly fine. I just forgot. I'm telling you what, it's been a long day. I don't even know why. It's been a great day though. Me and Vincent actually went out and we did some things. It was fun. We went and we looked at the new Apple computers. Oh, those are fun. Expensive but fun. So I'm not with it today. But let me go back up to my notes here. I did write some notes, I think. I think I did. No, tonight we're going to be covering or continue covering our coverage of the Rhoden massacre or the Piketon murders. There are two different words for that, or names, two different names for it. Some people call it, one or the other. We're going to listen to the podcast that we've been listening to, and this one's going to be focusing on Hanna and Jake. So Hanna Rhoden, one of the deceased, victims, Jake Wagner, one of the suspects. So it's going to go over some of the early parts of the investigation. We're going to go over that right now. Some of the rumors that were out there and kind of how they got to those particular suspects, because they didn't just, get to them guys automatically. They, we've already went through. They thought, it was one person had done this. They thought it was a cartel hit, this, that, and the other. So now we're starting to, get to where it's the good part. Like we're finding out who's done this, and there's so much more to it. There's just so much more to learn. There's so many more crazy details. It's just stick with me. Believe me. But police believe that more than one shooter was responsible. This is going to be the early stages of the investigation for the killings, since two of the crime scenes were within walking distance, a third located about a mile away, and a fourth about 8 miles away. Investigators briefly considered the possibility of a murder, unaliving or, self-inflicted, but it was discredited as none of the victims' death appeared to be self-inflicted. Attorney General Mike DeWine stated that the unalivings were planned, premeditated, and a sophisticated operation. And I remember him saying those words, citing the efforts taken by the shooter or shooters to cover up their tracks and remove any incriminating forensic evidence. All of the victims were members of the Rhoden family. Police urged surviving family members to take precautions, and all residents of Peebles were advised to stay inside their homes the following night. And I actually want to say one of them was actually engaged. So she wasn't a Rhoden yet, but she was going to be married into the family. An investigation task force of at least 100 members was assembled, led by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation, the BCI. More than 251 law enforcement officials were involved in the investigation overall, and sheriffs from 25 offices across Ohio offered to provide resources to Pike County. So, like I said, I believe in the first episode, this was the second deadliest mass shooting of that year of 2016. The other one was, I think it was a club shooting. So, that says a lot. That says a lot to me. But it says here, more than 251 law enforcement officials were involved in the investigation overall, and sheriffs from 25 offices across Ohio offered to provide resources to Pike County. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Administration Enforcement provided technical expertise to Mike DeWine's office. At least 5 search warrants were executed, and more than 50 people were interviewed in connection with the unalivings, the killings. 79 pieces of evidence were examined, including a Facebook threat aimed at Christopher Rhoden Jr., which was posted before the shootings. Because in the beginning of the investigation, they weren't sure what was going on, and they thought that could have been a connection to why someone would come and unalive 8 members of a family. I don't see a Facebook fight doing that, but that's just me. That's just me. That's what it was. I thought it was it Club X? Club Axe? It was in Florida. I remember that, Ashley. I just couldn't remember the name of it, so I didn't want to say the names. I couldn't remember it. Club X or Club Axe? Something like that. I remember, though. And I remember it was a gay club. Man, that was so messed up. I remember that. So in the beginning of the the beginning of the investigation, the early stages of the investigation, there was a discovery of cannabis, marijuana. And there were chickens and roosters and all of the things on their property. So they thought that maybe there was, some sort of connection between those two things. They thought maybe cockfighting had been a thing, that they were maybe selling marijuana in high quantities to people. So they thought maybe the cartel had something to do with it. I didn't know that the cartel was a thing in Ohio, but I guess it could be. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, it could be anywhere. So on April 25th, a spokesperson for DeWine's office also confirmed, and this is just like 4 days after, that cannabis was discovered at 3 crime scenes on Union Hill Road, including all indoor grow house in which hundreds of cannabis plants were being grown, as well as chickens and equipment consistent with breeding chickens for cockfighting. An estimated total of 200 cannabis plants were recovered from the crime scenes and are believed to have been grown for sale and not personal use. Well, I mean, it could be personal. If you got the whole family smoking, It was not known whether the cannabis was connected to the shootings, though investigators confirmed the possibility of the involvement of a Mexican drug cartel. And then remember, this is beginning stages, so. Cannabis cultivation is a common occurrence in Pike County. In 2010, 22,000 cannabis plants were seized by authorities in Latham, 15 miles west of Piketon, and a major cannabis growth site was discovered by police in August 2012, with about 1,200 cannabis plants being destroyed by investigators. That's a crying shame. They didn't need to destroy them. In both cases, police suspected connections to Mexican drug cartels. I don't know if they ever confirmed that they were Mexican drug cartels. I don't think that they did. We'll see. On April 26th, Dana Rhoden's father, Leonard Manley, stated that the victims knew their killers, citing the presence of Dana's 2 protective dogs. There was no indication that the dogs tried to attack anyone during the shootings, and there are no signs of forced entry at any of the crime scenes. Manley, who was not involved in the shootings, also said his daughter had no involvement in the exposed cannabis operations, saying that they are trying to drag my daughter through the mud, and I don't appreciate that. I mean, I could see, a father saying that. Some family members have acknowledged brothers Kenneth and Christopher Rhoden Sr. growing cannabis, but added that they were unaware of any high-volume cultivation occurring. Maybe so, maybe not, but maybe they didn't want to get in trouble. I don't think the police really cared about any marijuana plants if that had nothing to do with the shootings. You know what I mean? Like, if they could be like, oh, that's you, they were just selling it to people around, Piketon, then yeah. And they probably were, in all actuality. And it probably didn't even go much more further than Piketon. What, 200 plants? I don't know how much that would get you, how many pounds that'll get you, but if anyone knows, let me know. Hey, Amanda. I saw Doodlebug saying, and I was like, what is it? What is it? So the Wagner family on May, actually, let me go ahead. I meant to show you guys pictures of everybody before we started talking about everybody. So let me show you the Rhodens. We use this picture often because I think it's the best one. There are a couple better. There are a couple good ones out there, though. The other ones I could use. We could always switch it up. So Kenneth Rhoden, 44. Christopher Rhoden Sr., 40. Gary Rhoden, 38. Dana Rhoden, 37. And then Christopher and Dana's children were Christopher Rhoden Jr., 16. Frankie Rhoden, 20. Hanna Rhoden, 19. And Frankie Rhoden was engaged to Hanna Gilley. She's 20. The Wagners, trying to find the tab. We've got George Billy Wagner III, 47. He just looks like an angry mother, doesn't he? Like, he just looks evil. He just, I don't know. And then we got Angela Wagner over here. I mean, I just, these two together, I just don't see it. Like, he just looks mean. I mean, she's obviously even meaner, but knowing what we know now, well, what you guys will learn. But I mean, it can't judge a book on their cover, Then we got Edward Jake Wagner, 26, and George Wagner the fourth, 27. So there's the Wagner family there, and we're going to go over a little bit of what they're up to. On May 12th, 2017, a SWAT team from the Franklin County Sheriff's Office raided a Pike County home approximately 10 miles from the site of the murders. Police originally cited that they were searching for suspects in the murders. However, it was later clarified that they were looking for evidence in the case and not suspects. Police also searched an Adams County property once owned and recently sold by Edward Jake Wagner, an ex-boyfriend of victim Hanna Rhoden and father of her 3-year-old daughter, but was not the father of her 4-day-old daughter, who was unharmed during the killings. Rhoden was only 13 years old when their sexual relationship began. Now, I don't know what that puts Jake at, because it doesn't say his birthday. I could look right now, though. Do the math. That'll probably take me a minute to find out, but I'll figure out his age. But either way. Let's see here. 26. And Hanna was 19. And he was 26. So like 20. And she was 13, 19. Oh. What would you want with a 13-year-old when you were like 19 or 20? Yeah, dude. You're gross. You're real gross, dude. You're real gross. On June 20th, 2017, Ohio police announced that they were seeking additional information on Jake Wagner as well as his parents, Billy and Angela, and brother George. The family was living in Alaska at that time, and police wanted to learn of interactions and members of the public that members of the public had with the family, especially conversations about vehicles, firearms, and ammunition. Very specific. Very specific. And then here come the arrest. And we went over this last night, so this is just kind of like a recap a little bit. On November 13th, 2018, over 2 years later, Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine announced, wait, actually, did I miss something? No, I didn't. Okay. I thought I did. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Announced that George Billy Wagner and Angela Wagner and their sons, Edward, Jake, and George, had been arrested and charged with planning and carrying out the murders. The suspects were all members of the Wagner Newcomb family from South Webster. George Billy Wagner III, 47, father of the 2 boys and husband of Angela, was arrested in Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know why he was down there. I think that maybe he was on a job site. I don't know. Angela Wagner, 48, the mother of the boys and wife of Billy Wagner, was arrested at her home in Scioto County. George Wagner IV, 27, him and his brother were married. They were arrested in Ross County, where I grew up. And they were both along. They got a traffic stop. I don't know I'm assuming they just stopped and pulled over. I don't remember. I can't remember if they did that or if they fled. I remember this case and, being in that town, but I don't remember them fleeing, like trying to run. Also arrested was the mother of Angela Wagner, Rita Newcomb, 65, of South Webster, and Frederica Wagner, the mother of Billy Wagner. So both of the grandmothers were arrested as well. This is a family affair. They were charged with perjury and obstructing justice for allegedly misleading investigators. Newcomb was also charged with forging custody documents to cover up the crimes. The charges against Frederica Wagner were dismissed, and then we come to find out they're both Miss Newcomb. She ended up like taking a deal, so they're out. They're not. They didn't go to jail, but I feel like everybody should have went to jail. Are you wrapping gifts, Ladybug? Hey, true crime alibis. Chipmunk. Yeah. He's an ugly man. He just really is. He's just an ugly man. So some people are, so the two grandmothers, they just took deals, and one of them, the charges were dropped. Ohio likes to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I swear you can get charged with like 7 things and you'll walk out of the court with one. Like charged with, like, you know what I mean? Like they'll be like, we'll drop all these and give you just one. I don't know. They just do that a lot. Okay. Don't let me forget, Ashley. Don't let me forget, and I will. I'll do it right after the live. Actually, I can do it whenever we do the podcast. So where were we at here? Oh, actually, let me put this in the chat. If anybody would like to become a member of our channel, if you like what we do here and you enjoy the chat, I will put the link for the channel membership in the chat. Or if you'd like to gift memberships, you can go to the same link and gift out memberships the same way. So I just wanted to make sure I told you guys that. And I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank you. So let's read over this article I found. It kind of outlines their relationship, like Hanna and Jake's, and the custody that was kind of going on, and the bitter custody that was going on. So we're only going to read like parts of this. We don't need to read like up there or anything. So I swear I have had a cough since I've come back from my brother's. I don't know if it's because I was outside or what, or around, the kids. Prosecutors have long argued that Jake Wagner and Hanna Rhoden became embroidered in a custody war over their daughter Sophia, and Jake drew his family into the feud. BCI intelligence analyst Julia Evelidge testified that agents extracted texts between the couple, who always lived separately, after finding Jake Wagner's phone in his vehicle near the Canadian border in Montana. He wasn't about to run or anything. The phone was discovered about a year after the Wagner family relocated from Ohio to Alaska with Sophia in tow, before deciding to return to the mainland in 2018. They were arrested after their return to Ohio. For months, Hanna Mae Rhoden and Jake Wagner argued back and forth because Hanna, then 15 years old, wanted a place of her own to live with Jake and the baby, and Jake wanted Hanna and the baby to move in with him and the rest of the Wagner family. Now, 15's too old, in my opinion, to be moving out, but I can understand why she would not want to live with his family. Part of Hanna's concerns stem from the ways in which Jake Wagner's mother, Angela Wagner, had allegedly previously inserted herself into both George Wagner IV's relationships with his then ex, as well as the custody battle over George Wagner's son, Bluevine. I think that's how you say it, Bluevine. That's the other son. So George Wagner's ex, Tabitha Clater, testified earlier this month that George insisted they live with his parents and under Angela's rules, describing Angela as a domineering matriarch who controlled her sons and their relationships with women and girls. Girls? That sounds bad. Some of the text, this is Jake here, some of the text between Jake and Hanna introduced at George's trial dated back to October and November 2013, before their daughter Sophia was born on October 8th, 2013. And we'll go through all of that, his court proceedings and stuff as well. I done told you she is living with me now, Now you can live with us or not. That's your choice. Jake Wagner text 5 days before their child's birth. Hanna, then 15, responded by saying it would be a mistake for Jake, then 20, to take their daughter. Hanna, I'm telling you right now, make a choice and make it now. If you do this, it's over, and I'll take Sophie, and if I have to by force, said Jake. Well, if that ain't a damn threat, I don't know what is. I love you with all my heart. If you love me and Sophie, you will make the right choice. I want you to live with me and Sophie. She hasn't even had this baby yet. I would be like, you better back up off my baby. That don't mean we have to stay at my house all the time, but she will live wherever I am. Damn. He's lucky he was messing with a 15-year-old and not a grown woman. Jake's text suggests he had issues with Hanna's 16-year-old brother, Chris Rhoden Jr., one of the 8 victims his family is accused of murdering in April 2016. Well, he probably wanted to beat his ass. Jake text, at least no one at my house would hurt a baby, according to WCPO. What? Okay. In October 2014, Hanna sent Jake 4 gun emojis pointed at a single emoji of a woman's head with the caption, "This is what you wish would happen." How many times was she shot? Now I'm wondering. Because we went through it. Like last night. Let's see. Okay, right here. Oh, it just says gunshot. Doesn't say how many. Let me go. Let me just look up. Because that would be pretty crazy. I got it right here. I'm just going to go down to her name. I don't know if these are in any certain order. Because didn't it mark off how many? There's Dana. Gary. I think she might have been the last one, but I'm not sure. No, she's right here. Okay. Multiple gunshot wounds to the head. It says multiple. But I thought I had a chart or something that said how many each person had. I'm curious. Okay. Where are we at? By the end of March 2015, Hanna and Jake's relationship began to crumble. I don't want to be with you, Hanna text. You hurt me. Baby, please, you hurt me too, Jake responded. Jake texted Hanna that she had 1 day deadline to return to him, though Hanna refused. She made several references to where Jake allegedly put his hands on her. The allegation was supported by testimony from Hanna's friend, Chelsea Robinson, who claimed Hanna told her Jake threatened to chop her legs off so she couldn't leave him. By the summer of 2015, Jake was upset that Hanna was seeing another man and accused her of stepping outside their Christian-based beliefs. What? I want to be proud to call her mother Hanna. Jake text. And then less than a year later, Hanna was gunned down. So, we'll move on to the podcast and listen to that. And this is right. It should be right where it should be. Like right where it needs to be. But thank you guys again for being here. I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button. Maybe more people will come in and join us for this podcast. I could have spoke about, I could have like made up some stuff to speak about with Sebastian's case tonight, because like there is stuff on like Twitter and things like that. But I don't know. I just feel like I need to say this because I see like people are still just totally enthralled into that case. A lot of people are getting taken advantage of right now when it comes to that case. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep on trucking with, Piketon Massacre over here. But yeah, it's getting pretty ugly out there.
Studios.
And it's almost December 1st. It's going to get worse.
16-year-old boy were found in 4 different locations along a country road in Pike County.
Let me find more pictures for us.
A small town nightmare comes to life in rural Ohio. 8 members of the Rhoden family gunned down in cold blood in their sleep.
Just a nightmare scenario, all of them shot in the head, execution style.
It's absolutely shocking.
The brutal murders spark a 2.5-year investigation comprising state, local, and federal authorities. Then Attorney General Mike DeWine comments on what ends in a stunning series of arrests.
At the center of this case are members of the Wagner family, whom we believe the evidence will show conspired together to kill these 8 people.
It's a crime that shocks a once quiet community and leaves a haunting legacy that may lie at its very heart.
There are survivors, and they are very young. We're talking 3 children. One as young as 4 days old, a 6-month-old baby, and a 3-year-old. And when the reporters were asking, were all of them asleep at the time, they said no.
Oh, man.
This is the Piketon Massacre. Episode 3, Hanna and Jake. Over the course of the first 2 episodes, we've covered the details of the Rhoden murders and learned about the family accused of carrying them out, the Wagners. I'm Courtney Armstrong, a producer at KT Studios with Stephanie Lydecker and Jeff Shane. We worked on a documentary about the Rhoden murders back in 2019. Here's Stephanie.
If we're going to talk about the Rhoden deaths, then we also need to talk about their lives. So often when it comes to crime victims, it all becomes about their murders and so little about who they were prior. By all accounts, the Rhoden family was a very happy, close-knit family. In fact, they lived just miles from one another.
They were close enough that they all lived on the same road, which speaks to just how tight-knit they were. And, this family went back generations in Pike County. Everyone we talked to pretty much said the same thing about them. They were all very hardworking, very kind, and very generous. And we probably heard this the most about the matriarch of the family, Hanna's mother, Dana Rhoden.
Here's one of Dana's oldest friends, Becky Ryder.
She was a very nice person, just a great mother, and a great wife to her husband. Yeah, she's just all around good person.
As we listened to Becky describe Dana Rhoden, we began to see a vivid portrait take shape. A trusted friend, a caring nurse at a nearby assisted living facility, and a surrogate mother to some of the local kids. Brittany was one of them. A lifelong friend of Dana's son, Chris Jr., she reminisced about Dana with Stephanie.
She had shorter brown hair. She always had the curly. And sometimes she would put purple streaks in her hair, blonde streaks. I don't know. She liked that kind of weird stuff. And I'm sitting here I always looked at her what are you doing to your hair? See, now I do that to my hair.
She would be very proud of you.
Yes, she would. She'd laugh at me.
And Dana always sort of looked after everybody else's kids. She would kind of be the mama bear.
Yeah. One time we were all riding and I was on the 4-wheeler with Chris. Well, we were all riding and I actually got in a wreck because the 4-wheeler, I don't know what happened to it. It just completely messed up and we flipped down a hill. And Chris went and got his mom, and his mom came up in the woods and was freaking out. And then she took care of me. Gave me some ice. She gave me some water, being that whole mom. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do I need to call the ambulance? So that was always a good thing.
Dana met her husband, Chris Rhoden Sr., when she was in high school, and they fell in love immediately. A few years later, they got married. Here again is Becky Ryder speaking to producer Jeff Shane. She remembered meeting Dana as a young wife who had found the man of her dreams.
When I met Dana, her and Chris Sr. was already married.
So they got married in high school then?
Yeah, she got married really young.
Was that uncommon?
Yes, it's uncommon, but for her, she knew that's the man that she loved, and she knew she wanted to be with him forever.
Stefan Likens knew Chris Sr. as a devoted family man and a skilled craftsman. She spoke to our producer, Jeff, about him.
I tell you, if you could see some of the stuff, some of the things that he built, like the decks, he was an amazing carpenter. He built this one that had all kinds of intricate, he designed them, just his imagination. He could, if they said money's no object, you would be amazed at, the things that he could do.
Together, Dana and Chris Sr. raised 3 kids, Frankie, Hanna, and Chris Jr. But after more than 20 years of marriage, the relationship began to fall apart. Dana and Chris Sr. got divorced, but they continued to live on the same property, working together to take care of the children.
Yeah, they still had each other's back no matter what. Everything was always for the kids.
19-year-old Hanna Rhoden was Chris Sr. and Dana's only daughter.
She was great. She was funny. She was really funny. She was really, really nice. She knew everyone. Everyone knew her, and she just talked to everyone. She wasn't stuck up or anything like that. And she lived life to the fullest.
But after her murder in 2016, it became clear that Hanna's life and the events leading up to her death were much more complicated than anyone in Piketon could have known. All of this starts 6 years earlier. In the summer of 2010, Hanna had recently turned 13, and she starts dating a local boy named Jake Wagner. At the time, Jake was just shy of 18. The relationship moves quickly. 3 years later, Hanna and Jake begin planning to start a family. And in November 2013, Hanna gives birth to their baby girl, Sophia.
She was a great mom. Sometimes she would bring her baby to school. She'd always come into mine and Chris's class because we had American government together, and she'd always bring the baby in there and let our teacher, Mr. Carino, see the baby.
We talked to a relative of the Wagner family. She asked us not to use her name, but shared her thoughts on what Jake was like as a father to Sophia.
Jake was always very, hands-on. He would always be playing. They'd be outside. They'd be, nonstop. And he always kind of made sure that she, had what she needed. Just very active with her and very protective of her. It seemed like, the second that, if anything bad were to happen, I guess, he was on it. He was there for her. He was ready to do whatever needed to be done in order to make sure that she was okay.
While raising a family is difficult for the young couple, they make things work. Hanna stays in school while Jake works as a truck driver with his brother, George Wagner. The couple and Sophia split time between the Rhoden and the Wagner households. For everyone involved, it's a dream scenario. Angela Wagner, Jake's mother, is already a grandparent, but she's excited to be spending time with the newest addition to her family.
Her grandchildren, they absolutely adored her. They loved her. They always wanted to, go with her. And she would go out of her way to make sure that they were taken care of, or, on the holidays, if they got, anything they could, anything she could give them, and everything like that.
Dana Rhoden's friend Stefan told our producer Jeff that Dana was just as elated.
Was she excited to be a grandmother again?
Oh my gosh, yes. Those babies were her life.
In 2015, things seemed to be going well.
Okay, since my computer hates me and it won't let me type any messages, I was going to do it live tomorrow. I'll decorate the tree live tomorrow with you guys. It wouldn't let me put that in the chat, kept blocking it. That was a bad word.
All for Hanna and Jake. They have a wedding date set and even had rings tattooed on their fingers.
Throughout that time, Hanna became very close with the Wagner family, so much so that after the murders, Angela Wagner tells the press that Hanna was like a daughter to her and her entire family. So if that's the case, what could possibly have gone wrong?
Well, we have a little bit of insight into that
He's
thanks
a liar.
to a signed affidavit that Jake Wagner submitted. And this is just from his perspective, but what he claims is that he and Hanna split in April 2015, which is a year before the murders. He claims that Hanna actually was the one to break up with him because she thought he was working too much. And his perspective was that he wanted a stay-at-home wife and a full-time mother to Sophia, which Hanna was just not ready to do.
Which again, that is his account. We don't have the benefit of having Hanna's account or any of Hanna's family's account either. We spoke with an anonymous Wagner family source, and they say that Jake just really wasn't ready to throw in the towel on the relationship, period.
He was trying very hard to make sure that they got back together. He still wanted to be with her. He was trying to, I guess, get back with her, just everything that he could.
It's really hard to know what goes on in a relationship behind closed doors. Is it possible that Hanna felt as though she was being controlled by Jake, or that she was in over her head and couldn't get out of the relationship? Is it possible that Jake Wagner's broken heart was really the reason that his entire family allegedly killed her entire family?
Yeah, again, going back to kind of figuring out like the timeline and what might have happened, we're able to kind of piece some of it together through social media. We found a post from July of 2015 where she made a rather cryptic entry on Facebook, posting lyrics to a song about domestic abuse. And the lyrics read, "He slowly isolates her from all of her friends. She works really hard, but he takes all of it." She ended the post with her own words, saying, "End domestic violence, live a happier life."
It is important to note that we don't know for an absolute fact that these posts were about Jake. The timeline certainly matches up, but if they were all about Jake, it raises a number of questions. Was Jake Wagner a controlling and abusive partner? Though we can't be sure about what went on behind the scenes of Jake and Hanna's relationship, we do know one thing. Hanna was 18 years old when she posted that message, and she would be dead within a year.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in a moment.
She was dead at 19. She posted it at 18. She'll be dead in a year.
Like many of us, loan and credit card
about the video game you gave, and more. Just
want to know more.
Look at the story. This is the history book.
Only on Hulu. A detective. I just wanted my.
You mess with the wrong mother.
Now streaming only on Hulu. Search Mother Undercover.
So it almost sounds like to me that Jake's mother, Angela, is very controlling. Hanna didn't want to live with Jake's mother and his parents. I can understand that. I mean, if they're old enough to have a baby together, I guess she's old enough to be able to live with him. I still don't know about that. But yeah, I think that that's a tough situation to be in. That's a tough situation for any kid to be in. I mean, they're kids. Like, I mean, he isn't, but she was. He was 20. He knew exactly what the hell he was doing. She was 15 years old. Oh man, that's just a lot. I thought that they were a little bit closer in age than that. I didn't see their exact ages. Oh no, we did. We saw it on the thing.
Let's go back to that summer of 2015, just after Hanna and Jake broke up.
She was
that
19.
May, she starts dating a guy named Charlie Gilly. Charlie is her brother Frankie's best friend and the brother of Frankie's fiancée, Hanna Gilly. Here's journalist Jeff Winkler.
There was this period after Hanna May had broken things off with Jake Wagner that when she got with Charlie, it was sort of what you would hope for, you know. Everyone seemed to like Charlie Gilly, who, you know, by all accounts was very caring, very loving, very much liked by the family.
Charlie is proud of his relationship with Hanna. He often posts photos of he and Hanna kissing and proclaims his love for her online. However, as fast as things heat up, they fizzle out just as quickly. And by the end of July 2015, the couple breaks up. Now, according to that same affidavit that Jake Wagner signed, he and Hanna continued a physical relationship that entire summer. Brittany told Jeff Shane what she heard about Jake Wagner and Hanna's fraught relationship from Hanna's brother, Chris Jr.
Chris would always come to school and talk to me about it.
What would he say?
Just that his sister is in a shitty situation. He just treats her awfully, and she really can't do anything about it because she has a kid with him. He would just say that it's a whole bunch of BS and that Jake would just treat her like crap.
Like, what did you think about that at the time?
That she needed to get out of that relationship and not be associated with that family.
Is he wearing a ring on his ring finger? Let me get the Is he wearing a wedding ring? I can't explain that one. I can't explain that one yet. That's Jake Wagner. That's old Jakey. It's old Jake. But yeah, I'm wondering why he's okay.
At some point this same summer, Hanna falls for another boy from Piketon, Corey Holdren. According to our Wagner family source, when Jake finds out, he's crushed.
He got extremely upset when he found out that she was seeing somebody else, and he was hurt. He didn't understand, and every time that I got a chance to...
Why does that cop look so weird? What? What's right? Why does that guy look like, what are we, like, he's like afraid to touch him? It's like he could see the evil coming off of him, you know? Wow.
To talk to him, he would cry. He was like,
stay
I don't
away from me, devil
understand
guy.
why she's being this way, why she will, won't give me the chance to explain myself. Like, we could work on it and it would be good for Sophia. We would be good together. I mean, it was just always, he was very, very upset about that. So, and after being upset and after that kind of wore off, I think it did turn to anger.
In August 2015, Hanna's summer ends with a big shock. She's pregnant. Unlike her first child, this one is unplanned. Adding to the anxiety, she doesn't know who the father is. The potential fathers are Charlie Gilly, Corey Holdren, and Jake Wagner. For Jake, the pregnancy offers a glimmer of hope.
I could just tell by talking to him that when he did find out that Hanna was pregnant again, that it almost was like a sense of relief to him. Kind of, I think he thought that was going to bring them back together.
Oh, uh-oh.
He asked Hanna and was willing to be there, for the birth. He was asking, if she needed any help with anything with the baby, like the child support. He was willing to pay that. He had gotten things for the baby at one point. Him and Angela had went and bought a crib and just things like that for the child. Yeah. And this was before he had any idea if it was even his or not.
But behind the scenes,
because everything that we're hearing, it was not his.
There are rumors that the once amicable co-parenting situation between Hanna and Jake is beginning to fall apart. According to Mike Allen, attorney and legal analyst for Fox 19 in Cincinnati, things soon reach a boiling point.
2 or 3 weeks prior to the murder, there's evidence that Jake Wagner and his father tried to get Hanna Rhoden to sign some documents related to custody of her daughter Sophia to Jake Wagner.
But Jake's plan seems to backfire. Here again.
So that was only 2 weeks before. So did these people really plan this within 2 weeks? I swear to you, I'll be shocked.
Our Wagner family member.
There was a custody battle, is basically what it amounted to. There was a custody battle between, them and the daughter. Hanna wasn't allowing Jake to see her or any of the family to see her. And so it kind of it got out of hand at that point.
Why didn't she take him to court?
Just set him off to the point where Jake, because he had made the comment a couple times. I mean, and I had told a couple people about this. I mean, he had made the comment, that he was going to kill her. And he told her that, he's like, I'm going to epic kill you. Like, you're not going to let me see the baby, then, you're not going to have her. And I'm like, Jake, you can't say those things. Please just chill out. And
well, if anyone ever hears those things, take those things serious as a heart attack and report that immediately and go and hide.
And of course, nobody ever really thinks like, oh my God, he's actually going to consider that.
Right. People say stuff like that all the time.
Right. Like, especially when
no,
they're
they
upset.
don't.
He was just completely out of his mind.
She just said he's completely out of his mind saying this. No. If somebody was acting out of character and they're saying that they're going to unalive somebody if they do not get back with them, or if they do not give over full custody of their child, I would take that very seriously.
It really, really upset him.
And everybody, if one person would have taken him seriously and called this into the police, this might be a whole different story.
On April 17th, 2016, in the midst of the couple's custody dispute, Hanna gives birth to a baby girl named Kylie. On the birth certificate, she doesn't list anyone as the father. Less than a week later, on April 22nd.
Oh, I bet Jake was pissed now. I bet Jake is way pissed now. Wasn't in there for the birth and didn't have his name on the child. Oh, uh-oh.
Second, Hanna and 7 members of her family are found murdered in their homes.
What is it? How many?
Thankfully, the life of baby Kylie and all named Kylie.
I'm going to go back.
Completely out of his mind. It really, really upset him.
On April 17th, 2016, in the midst of the couple's custody dispute, Hanna gives birth to a baby girl named Kylie. On the birth certificate, she doesn't list anyone as the father. Less than a week later, on April 22nd, Hanna and 7 members of her family are found murdered in their homes.
Less than a week later.
Thankfully, the life of baby Kylie and her 2 cousins are spared. The brutal murders committed in front of these young children rattled everyone who heard about the story, even seasoned prosecutors like then Attorney General Mike DeWine.
I guess the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, when you see a mother, young mother just gave birth 4 days before, and she's murdered right beside her child. Thank God they did not, harm the baby. But it doesn't get much worse than that.
Jeff Winkler spoke to us about trying to make sense of the killer's intentions.
There was a conscious choice to leave every single young child alive who basically couldn't identify them successfully. I mean, that is probably the most shocking part of the whole ordeal, is that there was a conscious choice by these killers to spare the children, which sort of displays the cold-heartedness of decisions they were making.
Going back to the timeline for a second, following the murder, it was 1 week that passed and Jake Wagner files for custody for both Sophia and the newborn Kylie. He seems convinced that he's Kylie's father, but acknowledges that even if he isn't, he still deserves partial custody so the sisters could spend time together.
Yeah, the whole Wagner family was pretty vocal at that time about their need to have custody of these kids. Angela Wagner told the press that Sophia and Kylie, quote unquote, needed each other, and that when they got older enough to understand what happened to their mother, that they will really need each other.
Right. And custody is something that's complicated and it varies state by state.
Are you kidding me? If you wouldn't have unalived their mother, they wouldn't need each other like that. What are you talking about? Oh my Lord, have mercy.
State. So
she's a Tiffany Adams. Are we sure we're talking about Angela Wagner? Are you sure? Because this sounds like the Oklahoma mom's case to me.
Stephanie, I know you dug into this quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very specific. We spoke to a family law attorney in Ohio, and, yes, if you're an unmarried woman, all parental rights go to you. The father does not have any parental rights unless he goes to court and files accordingly. To that point, these papers for custody were filed exactly 1 week after the murders. That's pretty quick to pull all of your custody documents together in such a short amount of time.
To a child that you don't even know if it's yours. I say, this is my baby. This is no one else's baby but my baby.
I know things vary from state to state, but it's pretty unusual to have that so tidy so quickly. And some reports have indicated that may mean that they had been going through the process and that Jake and the Wagner family were compiling documents and such prior to the murders. So it is possible that because he didn't have any rights, could that actually be reason enough to go through with this crime?
Yeah, I spoke to Mike Allen. He's a former prosecutor and now he's a criminal defense attorney in Ohio. And he told me about how Jake's quick custody filings look from a legal perspective.
That's extremely strong evidence for the prosecution. 6 days, less than a week after the killings to go ahead and file. It can take months, maybe a year, a little bit more, a little bit less. It's not something that goes quickly at all. And I think that that is going to be some evidence that's problematic for the defense, doing it that quickly after the murders.
Jake seems determined to be a father to Sophia and to Hannah's newborn baby. Throughout Hannah's pregnancy and even after the birth, Jake Wagner publicly says there's a good chance he's baby Kylie's father. He's so confident that shortly after Kylie is born, he checks her for a hammer index toe, a Wagner family trait.
Oh my gosh.
He still wanted to be involved and still wanted to be there. So it was a very emotional time for him.
So
in my opinion, he didn't want to be there for that baby. He wanted to be there because of Hanna.
Really wanted to be a part of Hannah's life and Sophia's life and baby Kylie's life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was still willing, I guess, to get help with the child, help with, whatever Hanna would need.
In June 2016, nearly 2 months after the Rhoden murders, Jake Wagner, Charlie Gilley, and Corey Holdren all take paternity tests. It's determined that Charlie Gilley is Kylie's father.
With baby Kylie going to her father, Charlie Gilley, 3-year-old Sophia goes to her father, Jake Wagner, the accused, which is interesting when you look at the timeline of events. In fact, on the day of the murders, Jake allegedly picked up Sophia from the Rhoden home. As a result, Sophia's life was thankfully spared. She wasn't even there. Was that?
So he wasn't the father. I want to know how much longer after that this happened.
Just a huge coincidence? Was that fate? Or does that actually point to a larger plot?
Well, for example,
I don't know if we have a picture of Charlie. They were like kind of dating after Jake and Hanna dated.
Well, if the Wagners indeed are the killers, then on the very day Hanna and the rest of the Rhodens that they were celebrating the expected birth of Kylie with the baby shower, the Wagners were out shopping at Walmart for items that the prosecutor plans to introduce as evidence at their trial.
Right, that's an important trip to Walmart. That becomes a big piece of this case.
Stop going to Walmart, people, you criminals. Stop. It's like you might as well be trying to go to breaking in Fort Knox, with the cameras and shit. I mean, their cameras are awesome at Walmart. They're going to get you. I told you, it's like the White House over there.
Seen those photographs too from the baby shower, and everybody looks so happy. It's really staggering. Let's just say that Jake's dream was to be a family again with Hanna. He was in love with her. He wanted to keep his family together. Why kill her and guarantee that you're traumatizing your child? It doesn't really totally make sense.
Journalist Jody Barr analyzed the potential motive.
The older these kids get, the more they're going to look like their moms and dads who were murdered. And you want that connection. And these families are fighting over that through the court system. And now on the back end of this, you learn that, wait a minute, if everything is true that these investigators have alleged in these charging documents, man, this goes much deeper, as far as the custody is involved here, if that is truly what happened. But this is a case, we're 4 years removed from this now. I think about this every day in some respect. If it's, you wonder about those kids, how they're doing now. Has it gotten any easier to accept this? Are those kids, do they remember any part of this?
It's it's generations of a family wiped out.
Yeah, then you think about, on the back end of this, those kids had to go somewhere. What do you do with those children? What are they telling them? It's just like when you think about the human end of this outside of the investigation, man, this family, these are going to be hard conversations that they have with these children. Could you imagine explaining this to a kid when they ask where their mom and dad are, or tell me about my mom and dad? They're going to get on the internet one day. They're going to Google it. I mean,
You don't tell them until they're ready and they're able to take that kind of stuff in. You just tell them mommy and daddy are in heaven. You know, you sit them down, you kind of tell them what happened, like not what happened, like mommy and daddy were shot. You don't do that until they're like well and old enough before they hit the internet, you know, and look it up, but not when they're babies. And these were infants.
you Google Rhoden, the worst news possible that any human could ever have is going to come up. And, you know, how do you prepare them for that? This is, you know, whatever happened that morning on Union Hill Road, you know, it impacted a lot more than just those 8 people who were killed. I mean, you've got their family members and you've got people in that area are going to remember this forever. This is never going away.
Let's stop here for another quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
Don't forget about the Tuition, their first home.
Streaming service built all around the
Hulu. Experience.
I just wanted my family to watch your yoga pants, and I'm eating healthy.
Dana's friend, Stefan.
Start your free trial at body.com. That's BODI.com.
The legacy still lingers on with Dana's friend, Stefan.
Quite a shame, you know, that Hanna May, you know, just had that baby and they, you know, it makes me sick.
It's really unimaginable.
Yes, it is. You know, no one deserves to die the way that they did. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that Dana will never see her kids, you know, grow up, go to school, get married, have their own children. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay to be emotional about it. I mean, it is emotional. It's horrible.
Yes, it is.
On the one hand, you've heard, like I'm sure you've heard, I've heard that like whoever did this, you know, had like some sort of moral code that they wouldn't hurt the children and they wouldn't, you know, harm the kids. But then on the other hand, it's like, but they left all these kids without a family. And so like, that's almost worse in a way.
Yes. And I feel so sorry for the children, you know, that will never get to know their parents, you know, will never they'll grow up without their parents.
We know that the Wagners are in prison awaiting trial for these murders, but also that they've pled not guilty to all charges. It's also important to remember that they are innocent until proven guilty. So, if somebody else other than the Wagners committed this crime, who was it and why? During the ensuing investigation, information started to emerge that perhaps there were several other theories that needed to be considered closely. Here's reporter James Pilcher, who followed the story closely for years.
On the surface, the Rhodens appeared to be, you know, salt of the earth, all-American, you know, very close-knit family. And there were other things that led you to believe that all was not as it seemed. There had been reports of scuffles with other people in public. There had been reports of run-ins with law enforcement.
And it wasn't long before authorities made a shocking discovery that turned the case on its head. Here's then Attorney General Mike DeWine at a news conference a few days after the murders took place.
Let me go ahead, and I think it's okay for us to confirm that we did find marijuana in three locations. Grow operations? It's grow operations.
Later, it was discovered that the Rhodens had a pretty sizable crop of marijuana plants on their property. You know, there were indications that they were involved in some drug deals and drug trade with marijuana. That obviously fueled even more speculation that these were outside operators. Possibly was this a drug deal gone bad, or was somebody trying to take over their turf? All kinds of rumors started to flow after that disclosure.
More on that next week. Piketon Massacre is executive produced by Stephanie Lydecker and me, Courtney Armstrong. Editing and sound design by executive producer Jared Aston. Additional producing by Jeff Shane and Andrew.
I'm trying to get everything down. Let me fix this. I just have to take the banner down. Okay, there we go. I couldn't figure out how to take the banner down. I was like, oh, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling on the struggle bus. So that's all that I have for you for this case for tonight. I was thinking about going live on my second channel, but I don't know yet. If I do, it'll be like within the next few minutes. I'm just going to see if Vincent's awake and if he's taking a little sleepy nap, if he went to bed a little early, then I might go over there. But you guys should get the notification. And it's, if you're not familiar with my second channel, it is Unfiltered with Tanya. I don't know if I have it, like the actual things in here, but I figure we could just go over there and laugh and just talk. Let me see. I can put that in there. That should take you over there. Okay, yeah, it does. Okay, so I made the thumbnail. I made a really like funny one. It's like this old guy laughing, and yeah, let's see. We can go over there. I'm just gonna grab some more to drink, and let's see. Yeah, we'll go over there for a little bit and just hang out and talk about whatever. Talk about whatever, because man, we can do that. We have an extra channel. I know he probably is snoozing. Him and the cat. Earlier, I walked out there. I don't know what is up with that, but that's my cat. He took my cat. Oh, so if my brother's listening to this, he says he'll listen when he's going to, like, as he's going to bed. This might wake him up, but it kind of made me laugh. When I told my brother that I still had Rocky the other day, like at Thanksgiving, the look on his face, he might not have meant to, but it looked kind of like a shocked look, like, yeah, we still have like, because Rocky is a little old, you know. I know I'm going to go grab it in the Stanley. I just got a couple new ones today. Vincent spoiled me. I'm leaving their bromance alone. I mean, just the two of us song playing. I mean, I don't know. It could be a new bromance. But I'm going to go grab a drink. I'll be back on. I'll be on a little before 11 or right at 11. But yep, I'll be over there in just a couple of minutes. So I'll see you guys very soon. If I don't see you over there, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you back over here tomorrow sometime, and have a wonderful Sunday if I don't see you. Bye, guys.